Support WrestleTalk!
Oh, we've got good. Well, something newsworthy happened. Oh, but we've got bad as well. That's right, we've got good, we've got bad. We're going to good those goods, we're going to bad those bads. Why? I don't know.
Are we also,
because we're here.
Are we also going to indifference that indifference?
Yes. Yes, there is a huge chunk of just in the middle. I'm Ollie Davis. I'm joined by Lukewarm Luke Owen.
D-A-D.
Is that your new thing?
Yeah. I stole it from that. I can't remember who it was now, but I wanted to start doing that, yeah.
Luke's going to be a dad. If you missed the when you went into business for yourself at the end of the stream, everyone was talking about the cry heard around the world. Oh, Ollie, you just encapsulated the feeling of so many. Thank you for showing your true emotions and not just being like this pent up. God, you're so relatable. That's a modern man. And then you're just there like, kid. And it's just such a cheap win.
It was a cheap pop. It was the Becky Lynch winning the SmackDown Women's Championship of just like cheap pops with no actual plan.
Can we have a poll, please? Can we have a poll, moderators? What's more iconic on this weekend? Luke becoming a dad, which I've known about for ages.
You have known, yep.
Or Ollie Davis crying at CM Punk's confirmed.
I feel like I don't stand a chance in this poll.
That might be a heavy troll. Yeah.
I know what I'd vote for.
We are here to review SummerSlam as much as we do want to talk about Luke's fantastic news and CM Punk returning. And yeah, beer52.com/wrestle. Thank you so much to this wonderful company. They've provided us with beer. They're sponsoring this whole week of us being back in the office and the next two as well. We love them. Chicago-themed crate. Go over to beer52.com/wrestle. UK viewers only. You pay £5.95 postage and packaging. And how many beers does that get you, Luke?
Well, normally, that would get you 8. But because WrestleTalk and Beer52 are such good buds and we're such good friends and we love you, we are teaming together to give you 10 free craft beers on us. £5.95 the postage, just for UK viewers only, I'm afraid. Americans, don't at me. Don't at me. It's not my... At Beer52. I've asked Beer52. And what they've said is that, they smell. So we're stealing their beer and giving it to the Brits. But, they're trying.
So let's talk about last night's SummerSlam pay-per-view, which finished about 10 minutes ago. Because you've got to get in that Nakamura entrance for a match that didn't happen.
Well, that was there to kill time, surely.
What time were they trying to kill?
Well, okay, see, the report was they had to be done by a certain time, right?
Yes.
And
they missed that time by an hour.
An hour or so, I would say. But I think in WWE's mind, they were like, pal, we're never ending at that time. We're going to end at our usual time. But we haven't got the Bianca-Sasha match anymore. So we need to fill that time that we would have had set aside for that match. So go out and with Nakamura and Rick Boogs, and you can just go and entertain the crowd for a little bit. Then we'll play a video package for a match that was never going to happen. And we'll just fill for time. Like that whole, that segment from Nakamura to Becky holding the belt and leaving was like 20 odd minutes. That there is a Sasha Bianca match.
Moment. But at the end of the show, the big cliffhanger moment, which we have put under the bracket of good on the thumbnail. And, I enjoy seeing him back. It's Brock Lesnar's return to WWE. We haven't seen him since Drew McIntyre beat him for the Universal WWE Championship last WrestleMania in April. So he was just like, nah, with the pandemic and no fans. And now fans are back. He came out after Reigns had beat Cena in a plodding match that got really good in the last 5 minutes. Crowd suddenly just came alive for it, really. And the guys in the ring were very good as well. But yeah, Lesnar comes out. Paul Heyman is freaking out like, oh no! I used to date this guy.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns just like, okay, with his teeth. Mm-hmm. And Brock is full-on baby face. Gets in the ring with his onion head and, smiles, poses for the crowd, and Reigns just walks off.
I'm going to disagree with you on one point where you said that he was, waiting for the fans to come back. I'm not doing the pandemic era. That don't work for me, brother. I'll wait till fans come back. Disagree. He was waiting for that Saudi check to come in.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, the Saudi money, you say? Well, I have just grown out a top knot. Maybe I will come back and do some F5s for you.
He did, a few people have said this. He looked like a man who was called up last minute.
Oh, do you know what? I was actually chatting with someone in the building today who said, he didn't look ready. Because he came out in a tank top and jeans. He's like, he didn't look like Brock Lesnar. Not just because of the top knot and beard. It's like, he just didn't look like he was ready.
Yeah, it's not like he was wearing weird clothes as a new gimmick.
No.
He just looked like Brock on a Sunday.
He wasn't even wearing JJ's Diner or whatever it is, that sponsorship deal that he has on his ass.
Anyway, looks like we're going to get Brock versus Roman. When that will actually happen, I don't know. The reported plan is it's going to be Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania. So yeah, it looks like we could conceivably be in for a run of pay-per-views. Roman beats Cena at SummerSlam. He beats Brock at Survivor Series. Probably wins the Rumble to face himself.
Do you think it's going to be Survivor Series?
Or Saudi Arabia.
I think,
yeah.
Well, because the question I suppose there is there's that little Extreme Rules in between. What does he do there? Because I don't think they're going to do Roman Brock at Extreme Rules.
No.
Unless, of course, they do, and then just do it again at Saudi Arabia. But I think that at Extreme Rules, maybe he just has a match with Edge or something. Maybe you use Seth there. You do Seth at Survivor Series. Well, Seth at Survivor Series will be the champion versus champion match. So, yeah, Seth maybe Finn.
Sure. Nice little filler.
Yeah, a Finna feud.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with Brock. Because we had not many comments, but there was one comment that just irked me and you. Where it was just, and they've commented on our live reactions before. It's your AEW bias has poisoned your enjoyment of wrestling. You don't react to Brock Lesnar coming out or Becky or Cena. And yeah, I've got to be honest. Even when Becky came out, I was like, cool. Right? I don't care.
Well, I think there's a difference between the reaction we have for CM Punk, who has been gone for 7 years, and he then came out and was just like, I'm going to be here Wednesdays, Fridays, I'm here on pay-per-views, I am back, I am CM Punk and I am back in professional wrestling. It was like, oh my god, this is the most amazing thing ever. Compare that to Brock Lesnar, who was like, see you at Saudi Arabia and then I'll be back for WrestleMania probably. Do you want to pop for me again then? Because I'll be back. This is what Brock does. Brock being away for a while, then coming back at a pay-per-view to challenge the top title holder isn't that much of a surprise anymore. It's a regular occurrence.
Not even a championship contenders match has been had. Well, maybe that's what happens at Extreme Rules to set up the title match.
I see.
At Saudi Arabia. There was one other return on the show, which is, I think, I haven't seen a single person be happy about this.
Nope.
There's so much wrong with this segment. So the reports the previous Saturday was that Banks and Belair were pulled from live events. Banks, for whatever reason, not able to compete. WWE know about that for a week. It's been reported as early as Monday. Yeah, looks like that match isn't going to happen. WWE continue to promote that match. Have a graphic on the pre-show. This match is coming up.
Video package for it on the pre-show.
Video package on the main show.
And the video package as well, which was their match at WrestleMania is one of the most historically amazing matches you have ever seen. And we're going to have the rematch of that tonight. Man, you better order Peacock right now because you have to see the rematch to this, knowing full well it wasn't going to happen.
They are pushing card subject to change.
Yeah.
A bit far for this guy's liking.
Dude.
To the bloody card itself.
I know. I was compared this to the Cena Rumble one, where they were advertising Cena for the Rumble, knowing full well he was never going to be in that Rumble, and then on the pre-show said, Cena's not in the Rumble.
Sorry, guys.
Lol, sorry. But this was totally different to that. They were up until Bianca's entrance saying, it's happening. What a match this is going to be. So glad you bought your Peacock subscription so you can come and watch this match. And then Greg Hamilton's like, BT dubs, Sasha isn't here. Here's Carmella instead.
Yeah, so screw you,
Screw
I guess,
you.
everybody. The joke is that Don Callis is a carny piece of S-word. That is some carny bull S-word tactics there. Indefensible.
There's absolutely not.
And speaking of indefensible, so Carmella comes out and we're all like, all right, whatever. Let's watch this 5-minute match. Actually, a very good swerve, because then Becky Lynch comes out. It's Becky's return. Denise said it was like one of the loudest pops she'd ever heard live in an arena. And Becky comes down. She says, oh, just wait a second, Belair. Clobbers Carmella. It was very well done. And she's like, may I fight you instead? And Bianca's like, yeah, come on, let's do it. And Becky's like, let's give all these people an excellent, epic match. Let's really go for it. Playing it up. The crowd like, yes. Becky's like shaking the ropes like, come on, let's do this. Bell rings. Becky goes to shake her hand. Belair turns away. Becky hits her in the back of the head. What's it called?
The man slam.
The man slam, the rock bottom, the uranagi.
Uranagi.
As Dave Meltzer tweeted.
And Brian, did he actually tweet the uranagi? Oh,
She won
Dave!
the uranagi.
Dave! So if you don't listen to WrestleTalk Extra that Ollie and I do over on patreon.com/WrestleTalk, in the early 2000s, the late 90s, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez refused to call it the rock bottom in their recaps and stuff. It was like, rock one with the uranagi. So just call it the rock bottom, Dave.
Yeah, always a uranagi. And that's it. 1, 2, 3. I thought, it was the classic Paul Heyman start to a match. Big move to start off, kick out immediately. Oh, wow. That we started at 10. Where do we go from here? No, we finished.
Yeah.
Becky won the title. She celebrated for ages, as she probably should have done. And Bianca's there like, oh no. And then she's like, oh, you got me. I was like, this is crap.
It was real bad. And I have seen, because I've listened to a few recaps today. I was listening to Stephen Larson this morning and them talking about it. And I felt so sorry for Stephen Larson. Because the pair of them, they recorded it literally after the show was finished. The pair of them were doing mental gymnastics to try and work out what was going on here. And they were like, there was maybe they're turning Becky heel. And maybe this is the way, that's the only way any of this makes sense, is because they're turning Becky heel. But they couldn't possibly turn Becky heel. That'd be a moronic thing to do. And then it was Steve Larson, I think it might have been Larson, was just like, really, it was just for the moment, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what I said on the stream last night. There's literally nothing more to this than Becky wins the title, crowd pops. That is where the thought starts, that's where the thought stops. And there's no planning for the weeks after, no matter the months after. There's no plan for Bianca, no plan for Becky with the title. Just that, we want to give the crowd something. We want to create a moment for the crowds. Becky can win the title. That's it. That's all it came down to.
But you know what? I agree with that. I agree with Becky. The whole, but you can't deliver on Banks. But they almost over-delivered them. Because, hey, you get to see a Becky Lynch return and then she wins the title. She should have won the title. I thought, I picked Banks. I picked, whatever the scenario was, I picked Belair to lose here. I think, she hasn't really done much, unfortunately.
It's not her fault.
Yeah. It was the way in which it unfolded. It was a Kofi squash.
Yeah.
She got Kingstoned.
Yeah, it really was. It was just I believe someone said it's the manhandle slam, not the man slam. Either way, the uranagi.
It's the uranagi.
The uranagi. And it was just a very quick 1, 2, 3. But I think that was, because if you had a match, it's not a moment then. That's just a match.
No, you get 2 moments separated by a match.
No, it's not. It's all one big moment there. Because if they just had a match and Becky won, maybe it's they won't talk about that as much. But if Becky just goes out and just beats her in one move, that's something to talk about. That's something that people will remember forever.
I should have read up on this, but I have been in a half-dazed state because I only had 2 hours sleep. But unless this was all last minute, and Becky still isn't comfortable wrestling a long match, in which case you go 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a 20-minute one.
Or in which case, don't do it.
Yeah. Look, there's so many other ways you could have done this. Because first off, don't advertise. I think, and this is going to be so hypocritical of me, how I sort of said the way AEW should have done the Punk thing. Say Banks isn't able to compete on SmackDown, but Bianca will have a tag match with a mystery opponent against Carmella and Zelina Vega. Mystery opponent. You know, what... And you just do something to say it's going to be Becky without saying Becky.
Yeah.
And then you get all that, like, Becky chants before the mystery tag partner comes out.
Yeah.
And you get that promotional thing there.
There's not as much of a moment, though, is it?
But you don't have to then change the belt.
I totally get what you're talking about. But, like, the WWE mindset of this is just, we created a moment. And, like, Pritchard on a podcast will just say, it was totally worth it. Because everyone will remember what happened there. And that is all that matters.
Yeah, we will remember what happened.
But
it sucked.
It did suck. It was really, really rubbish. And it made Bianca look crap. And I said this to the lad I was talking to today. The fact that Bianca wasn't mad really, really annoyed me. When she went out, she was like, "Hey, you got me. Yeah, sorry, yeah, you got me." It's like, well, now Bianca looks crap, which means all the other people that she's been squashing along her way since being the champion also look crap. So now it's just Becky Lynch at the top of the mountain with no credible challengers to her name, with the exception of Banks, who's not around at the moment.
Yeah, but we'll get Belair versus Lynch ad nauseum.
Oh, yeah. We'll do it the next pay-per-view, and therefore, and on.
I got a little bit sidetracked. What I was going to say is, if Banks, like, if they were, like, really hoping that Banks could do the match, and for whatever reason, but last minute, like, damn, we can't do it. So it's like a very last minute thing. Becky, can you step in, please? She's like, oh, I'm not ready. You know, that is the only way I can see this working. Yeah. Like, how that might have unfolded. That mindset. Because, like, it is, yeah, you're right. Like, if it is a case of Becky was like, I can't do a 10-minute match. I'm not ready to do a 10-minute match. But like, I disagree. This can't have been a last-minute thing. She had merchandise. Yeah, it said Vegas.
She had, the man has returned to Vegas, which means they've got like a series of merchandise, which means this has been a plan for a while.
You have just blown this wide open. Oh my God.
This couldn't have been a last-minute thing.
Yeah, it's indefensible. This is kind of on the same levels as the Karrion Kross. I don't think it's as bad because you buried an entire brand there. Here, it's just Bianca. I don't mean that to say just Bianca. Just Bianca, I mean it's not like 60 people.
Well, exactly, yeah. It's one fart that's not as bad as this other fart over here. Yeah. It's just like, well, at least this fart only hurt one person, whereas that fart hurt a lot of people. Yeah, real bad for Bianca. I felt really sorry for her. And yeah, sure, we got a Becky Lynch return. I'm happy to see Becky back. And actually, you can look at the reactions. We were so happy to see Becky back. She looks awesome. Her hair looks wicked. And I was really like, big thumbs up for Becky returning. And it was all undone in 3 seconds.
Her hair was big, wasn't it?
It was wicked. She looked so cool.
Yeah, so she had the better hair over Brock. Of the returning hair tonight.
I don't know, because I mean, I'm in the minority here. I thought Brock looked awesome. I think the top knot beards, WWF Attitude Creator Wrestler default setting. I thought wicked.
You like your wrestlers to look like they're going to a B&Q.
Well, yeah, that's what Brock is. He's going to go like to B&Q, buy some wood, then use that wood to clobber a deer. Like that's what Brock does.
Like force it into a shotgun. Shoot the deer with wood. Right, let's see what you guys think. WrestleTalk.com/support. Get all your Ultrachats in there. Charles Berg says, wrestling fans would like to see Becky return. WWE, you'd like to see Becky return and squash one of, if not the most talented women on our roster with limitless upside? No. Well, okay, let's do that. You're welcome. Beard Brock is scary. Tony P. I think I can speak for most black wrestling fans and say last night really stung. After that BS, I became disinterested, and so did a lot of black wrestling fans from what I heard after that.
Yeah, we had a lot of that in the live chat yesterday.
White wrestling fans as well.
Yeah, we had a lot of African American black wrestling fans, whichever your preferred term is, who were just like, man, they did it to Kofi and that was bad, but to do it to Bianca is like. It's indefensible.
Yeah, my hope is that, you know how Kofi just went straight into the mid-card and was never anywhere and I know he just had the Bobby Lashley shot, but
that propelled him so far into the main event. It's unreal.
I don't see that happening to Bang.
No, she's going
to Belair.
She's going to get a rematch. Yeah. She's going to have her rematch at Extreme Rules. They might even do it on SmackDown.
Damar DeRozan, huge congrats to Luke. Dad. Feel sorry for Bianca. WWE somehow made a Becky return feel wrong with how they booked it. Bianca was booked strong since the Rumble and gets beat off 2 moves. Don't know why a roll-up or DQ couldn't have sufficed. No. Oh, but is that where we're at?
That's the world we live in now. It's like, man, I'd have preferred a roll-up or a DQ finish.
Anton Triple H. After attempting Rampage, watching Belair get inexplicably squashed, and another unsurprising Brock return, a boring pay-per-view overall. I think I'm done with WWE for a while. Shows are too repetitive and nonsensical. AEW got me excited for wrestling again.
Just bring up that guy I was talking to earlier. He's a pro Tekken player, by the way. He's a very cool guy when he works upstairs.
Luke made a friend today.
I did make a friend today,
if you haven't already picked up on this.
But only because something there that Anton mentioned sort of rang with what that guy was saying to me. He just went, after all, like, we were just chatting away, and he just went, oh, I'm trying, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to enjoy this. I've been a fan for so long. I'm really trying. But it's just not enjoying it.
Tanner Noack. Imagine if they made Bianca's opponent ambiguous in the build rather than the bait and switch. It could have made Becky's return better, aside from that finish. Yeah, agree. Becky would have had to have won a championship contenders match, though?
Well, you say that, but Shotzi and Knox won 3 of them, and it was only on the 3rd one that Michael Cole was like, I think they might be contenders now for the tag titles.
Storing up the shots.
Like finishes on this old SmackDown game.
They should win pretty easily now.
Well, yeah.
Because they've got all the contenders shots.
Yeah, no, because they've been them 3 times now. They need to get their heat back.
Vandalia 1998. Just finally for now. Don't worry, Becky and Belair will get a chance to have a real fight. About 20 of them before the next pay-per-view. Yes.
Yeah.
Beer52.com/wrestle. Please go over there. If you're in the UK, click the link in the video description below or in the live chat wherever it's been posted. Or just type it in old-fashioned style like a URL. And you can get, using our offer, 10 free craft beers for just the price of postage and packaging. Here we have a Lil Dorado.
Oh, you're going to open this? Before you do, it's been in here all night. Like
Why in here?
Me and Pete had this on set yesterday for our Rampage review. So that is far from cold. I wouldn't even say it's lukewarm.
Dun-dun, dun-dun. That's the ones you should. The lukewarm beers you should smash.
No one wants to be served lukewarm beer.
Or just tea.
Can I have a little sniff of it, actually? Because I can't drink at the moment because
he's pregnant.
Because I may have to like. That's the other thing as well, actually, to mention about my wife being heavily pregnant at this point. It's because it's due in a couple of weeks. I may have to leave during a live stream if I get called.
That's dramatic.
If my wife goes into labour, I'm just going to have to leave midstream. So I'm not drinking at the moment.
Where's the dedication?
I've slept at the office for the last 2 days. That's where my dedication is.
Does everybody know that Luke has been sleeping in the office?
Yeah.
Probably breaking all number of fire insurance rules. We won't do that again. We didn't realise that was a thing.
Yeah, we didn't know it was a thing.
Well done.
Thank you, man. And Ollie didn't make me do it. It was my decision.
I said we'd book a hotel.
Well, no, you did. I said, can we book me a hotel? And you said, yeah, that's absolutely sure. And somewhere along the lines, I misheard you say, like, book it yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I'm there going like, doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, Ollie's booking me a hotel. Until 2 days before, and I'm like, cool, so that hotel? And you're like, no, you were supposed to book that.
You could have probably still booked it then.
No, I checked. It was like £250 a night.
Oh, whoa. The travel lodge.
Not the travel lodge that Laurie was in, because I didn't realise Laurie was so far away, because this was like 30 quid. I think it was like a Premier Inn or something. That's close by.
Well, this episode of SummerSlam, shall we get into it from the start? Opened on the pre-show match was Beige versus Baron Corbin.
My boy Beige.
And yeah, this was sort of based around Corbin. He had stolen the briefcase. He had the match here. I'm not really entirely sure why. Like, surely they should just say it's not for the briefcase.
Well,
but...
yeah, like there's a fundamental problem with this. And it works so well because Corbin is at his wit's end. He's so desperate for $100,000 and just a little morsel of money from people. He's so desperate for that sort of money that when people are offering him cash walking down ringside, that's not enough. I need more than what you're offering. So he's stolen the briefcase. He's like, that's going to get me a bigger paycheck. That's how I get myself back on my feet. Not realizing that he can't use it. That's where the comedy lies. He thinks, like, you could have had him try and cash in, and referees being like, you're not the champion. You can't do this. You're not actually the briefcase holder. And he'd be like, but I need this. And then Beige can come down and like, get his briefcase back again. But that's not the story they told. But the story they told was like, oh, Corbin's got it now. Yeah. So Beige needs to get it back.
And they're in Vegas. They could have done an Ocean's 11 style.
Oh, a heist thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd have been real good.
Corbin trying to group together a bunch of mid-card ragtag
the Lucha House Party.
Yeah. Chad Gable and Otis.
Oh, I like
Akira Tozawa.
Yes, I like it a lot. I like this a lot.
Oh, well, it was a TV match, essentially. And Beige won, as he should have done. Mm-hmm. But Baron Corbin is very, very good in this role.
I love him in
this role. They did also promote Usos versus Mysterios for the pre-show. Like, they put up a graphic with 20 minutes of the pre-show left saying that. And we're like, God, this is going to be pretty short 2 matches. We haven't had Beige versus Corbs yet. Then it just didn't happen. This stinks of a show that's changing as the show goes on air.
Okay, so... No, I'm not going to go into that level of speculation. I wonder if it's tied to the Banks situation of whether or not, how late in the day did they know Banks wasn't going to be doing the match?
Previous Saturday.
No, because my conspiracy theory is, and this is proper tinfoil hat stuff, that the Usos versus Mysterions was moved to the main show because they needed to bulk out the main show. And because they were like, but they had planned for it to be on the pre-show. But as it got to like, 22, and they were like, I don't think Banks is going to show up. So we need to move the Usos Mysterions match to the main card.
Well, then you also drop the Nakamura entrance.
You still needed to fill that time.
The main card opened with AJ Styles and Omos versus RKBro. Omos didn't do anything. He just stood on, I think he got one tag in. He was in briefly, put someone in a headlock. Didn't do anything. He was occasionally knocked off a bit, and he went, ooh, nearly fell over, but didn't. AJ wrestled the whole match for that team. He was very good. But yeah, ultimately, just a standard TV match where the titles changed hands.
RK-Bro won. They got the tag titles. It was nice to see them pose. Like Randy Orton put both titles around Riddle so he could do his pose and Randy Orton could stand above him and do his. That was a nice little touch. And AJ and Omos were like, ooh, I order. So we'll get some rematches out of that. So, that'll be, at Extreme Rules again, probably also.
With a step.
It'll be at Extreme Rules. They'll probably do it again at the Saudi show. Maybe that'll be the one with the stipulation. Because
they'll love Omos
at the Saudi show. The Crown Prince will be all over him like white on rice.
Well, will they like Omos at the Saudi show? Or will Vince McMahon thinks Middle Eastern country like Toolman?
No. I think he was going to go over there and the Crown Prince will be like, size of him.
This guy.
What is this guy? I can't believe you brought Shaquille O'Neal over. And they're like, yeah, we did. He's tagging with AJ.
But far more importantly, this is where we saw SummerSlam My Boosie.
I noticed that this didn't make it into the written review.
I can't find a way to really do it justice. There was a sign quite prominently featured all the time in the hard cam shot. It said, SummerSlam this Boosie. And Adam knew what a Boosie was.
Yeah.
We didn't know. Renee Paquette. You see her tweet?
I did not.
She said, what is a Boosie? And then she quote retweeted herself, said, oh, I Googled
it. Is it a Busey? Because we kept then saying Gary Busey.
It's a Gary Busey, or for the classical music fans, Claude Debussy.
Yeah. Or is it? I always thought it would have been a Bussy.
Yeah. Well, it's, bum or butt and pussy.
Yeah, exactly. So you wouldn't say a pussy, would you?
I guess not. That's
a Gary Busey.
A Gary Busey.
You would say a pussy. So yeah, it was. Either way, we found it very, very funny, and we're very childish, immature people.
A new rude word,
and it was a very fun new word. So we said it a lot, and every time we said it, we laughed.
Yeah, and Adam, at the start, Adam was like, "You guys don't know what it is." And by the end, he was like, "Please stop with it." It's also the name of Effie and someone's tag team.
Alley Cat.
So it seems like it might be a reference to that. well done slipping a naughty word past the WWE censors.
Yeah, and there were multiple ones of them.
Yeah.
Because there was one like at the pre-show that was like behind like Kayla Braxton and the 25 people on the pre-show panel. Was David Otunga one of them?
No.
And then
Kevin Patrick was there though.
Crab walk. And then there was one on the hard cam. So clearly like it was an orchestrated attempt to try and get as many of them as possible. It was very funny.
After that, we got Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie with Doudrop. The report was, I can't remember if it was from Andrew Zarian or WrestleVotes, that a lot of the Alexa Bliss character future depended on this moment, because this was when they were going to start really pushing the Lily doll at live event merch tables. So if she sells loads of Lily dolls, the Lily doll will stick around. If they don't, hopefully they would drop it. I don't know what those merch figures look like.
Well, from what I've heard, Denise said this part of her sort of like live roaming reports that they were selling very well. They were selling really well, as well. Did you know they were selling replica Drew McIntyre swords?
How? Well, Drew's got a replica sword as well.
Well, I know.
So they're replica
swords. You could buy a sword, like a sort of a foam sword thing.
Just a foam one.
Well, yeah, like a plastic one or whatever it is. Drew didn't know they were selling them. Because like Denise interviewed him before SummerSlam, was like, "Oh, I've seen your new sword merchandise." He's like, "What sword merchandise?" They were selling like Drew swords and stuff. And but yeah, so apparently, according to Denise, the Lily dolls were sold fairly well, and they were selling pretty well at the merch stores and stuff. I saw people in the crowd who had Lily dolls. I think Lily's going to stick around. I think we're going to get a bit more of this. I've got literally one issue with this match. Because my other issue with the Viper stuff has been long-standing with, I don't know why she was with Eva Marie this whole time, because they never gave us a storyline reason as to why. The storyline reason they gave was like, well, she's my protege. But Doudrop knew that Eva Marie was fobbing her off and she wasn't really her protege. So I was like, well, why are you hanging out with her then, doing her work? But my actual issue with this was, Lily's alive. We've seen this. We've all seen this. We've seen her stand up. We've seen her go, wow. We've seen her wink at Doudrop during a match. We've literally seen her do this. Eva Marie walked over and started grabbing her and started slapping her around and stuff. And I'm like, Lily, do something. You can literally do something to stop this because you're alive. But Lily didn't. So what is Lily?
I just think she does stuff. Yeah, what are the rules?
What are the rules of Lily?
Because I was just about to say she does stuff when no one else is watching, but
yeah, we're all watching. Because there's always been this thing about in the Child's Play movies, people have been like, why is Chucky pretending to be a doll? He's a serial killer. He's the conscience of a serial killer that has been sort of voodooized into this doll, and now he is a living doll, and so he can just go around murdering people. But he pretends to be a doll because then he gets like the element of surprise on people. Also, he's a psycho, and it's a fun game to play to be like, am I alive? Am I not? Now I'm stabbing you in the face. But there are people like, I just stab people.
Yeah.
Like if that's what you want to do, why are you dicking around being a doll?
Yeah, I've got nothing. I'm trying. I can't even think of a joke. Just nothing. This wasn't like Eva was slapping Lily around. This fired Bliss up. They still went like 2 minutes after that.
Yeah.
When it should have just been Bliss tackles and wins.
Yeah, Eva Marie got the knees up on the twisted. Oh no, she missed. Twisted miss, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then eventually she hit a DDT or something for the win.
Yep. And Doudrop afterwards got the microphone and went, and the loser is Eva Marie.
And she took her jacket and walked away. So I expect to see them as a tag team again tonight. Yeah. And Eva Marie will say, that was just a moment of foolishness by Doudrop, my protege. So we'll go out there and have a tag team match. And maybe she'll turn on her again.
Zach from Saved by the Bell.
No, it wasn't Zach. It was A.C. Slater. Put some respect on his name. That was Mario Lopez, man.
Interviewed RKBro backstage. We got Sheamus versus Damien Priest.
Sorry, on the Mario Lopez thing, the report was that WWE were desperate to get as many celebrities as they possibly could for SummerSlam to make it feel its big thing. They wanted like, Megan Thee Stallion. They wanted Cardi B. They were looking for like the real big names.
Just WAP collaborators.
Pretty much, yeah. They were like, who is like the pop culture hotness at the moment? Let's get all of them. We'll get them all onto this one show. Everyone turned them down. So they got A.C. Slater from Saved by the Bell. It's like, has anyone got Mario's number?
He was already there. Hi, guys. I brought my own mic.
Yeah. I might be able to get Freddie Prinze Jr. I don't know.
After that, we got Sheamus versus Damien Priest for the United States title. This was a weird match because at the start I was worried because Damien Priest almost immediately does that step-up flip dive over the top rope. Hits a little bit of Sheamus, but mostly just lands on his coccyx.
Oh, it was gross.
And the bump itself didn't look nice at all, but when he stood up afterwards, he was moving in a weird way, and he seemed angry with himself. And, you know, that takes me out of the match, because now I'm just concerned about him. But then Sheamus started working over the back. That is a ring general genius. And they just worked this match, and I thought they got me back into it.
Yeah, it was real good.
And not only did they get me back into it, they got me back into it more because there was now this element of reality to it. And yet, by the end, it was. Oh. Sorry, my hands made a farting noise. I got so excited. Can you do that?
I actually can't do that. I just get like, I'm trying to close my microphone.
I think you just need to.
My mate Graham, when we were kids, like you, would just sit there and just make fart noises with his hand. I could do it under my armpit, but that is
the classic.
The classic. But that I can't do that one. Can you do it with your mouth? Just go. Oh, that's good. Do you know my wife can't blow a raspberry?
Really?
Yeah, she can't go. Yeah, exactly. She can't do that. She literally goes. It's literally, her tongue comes out and she just goes.
That comes out another end. Oh, giving birth. So yeah, we can talk about that now.
Yeah, we can do.
Because before old podcasts, my brain would have been to a joke about pooping a baby.
No, don't do that.
I know someone who pooped a baby.
Really?
Yeah, this isn't a setup for a contrived joke.
Okay.
She went to the hospital. Because she was pregnant, about time to give birth, and they said, "You are not going to give birth." Classic first child mistake. It just feels that way because you're not used to it. She was like, "All right, fair enough. I'm in so much pain." Went home, went to the toilet, pooped a baby. Didn't come out of her bum or anything.
No,
The normal way.
Yeah.
But it was literally she looked down.
No way.
It was crowning.
Oh my god.
I'd put the fear of God in me now.
My Mickey Love, his sister has had 2 home births, both of which were unplanned because they were just born within an hour or so. She literally just went into contractions on the kitchen floor, and it was just there it was. So the first time her husband had to deliver the baby on their kitchen floor. Second time, their 2-year-old that they had previously had to help deliver the baby the second time round.
That is a good family right
It's
there.
good.
That's old school birthing.
That is connection right there. You love to see it.
Where were we? Put some tea towels down.
Oh, I'm sure that'll soak everything up. Can't see any problem with that.
Right, the final bit of this match was really, really good. Fantastic near fall off what I thought was a brogue kick, but was actually a brogue trigger because it was a knee kick. Because it was a knee instead of a full extended big boot on Priest. Hell of a near fall there. Because I love Sheamus. I almost didn't want him to lose. And the proper finish was figure 4 from Sheamus. Priest is drags him into the middle of the ring. Priest powers up, sits up in the pain, pulls off the face mask from Sheamus. Sheamus is and Priest just starts decking him in the face and pins him. Fantastic.
Yeah, hit the reckoning for the
Yeah.
win. It was I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was really good because and this is the deal with Damien Priest, isn't it? He's awesome. He's so cool. He's effortlessly cool. But we've been conditioned to think that he's lame because he's had one thing to do since January. And now when Damien Priest comes out, I'm like, I don't want to see you, mate. I don't really want to, but I don't want to see you because with you comes The Miz and/or Morrison. And it may do. I fully expect him to have handicap matches against them.
They're reportedly feuding with the New Day.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, I
So
suppose that makes sense.
hopefully Priest versus Sheamus again. 4 months of that.
Yeah, because who else is it going to be?
I don't know. He has not lost a singles match on the main roster.
Does he not?
No.
Crikey.
2K22 sounds weird to say. They ran a trailer for it, and there were reports and rumblings earlier in the day that it's not coming out this year. And they confirmed it. They ran a little trailer, and Laurie was like, there's no gameplay footage.
Yeah.
And then, it's coming out in March.
March 2022. I look forward to June 2022 when people are like, it's actually good now. They've fixed all the problems.
2K23.
Because that's what we had with 2K20. It's like the game came out, it was broken and it didn't work. So, and like we were the only people that were playing it on Twitch and stuff, which is why we did pretty good numbers for it. And then we gave up on it. And then like, about 6 to 8 months later, I was getting messages from people like, you should load up 2K20, they've fixed everything now. Now it's actually really good. It's too late now.
That's not my attitude to playing games. We got Usos versus Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Rey sort of gave Dom some pep talk backstage. I couldn't actually hear what he was saying, but it looks like they're breeding dissension between them. But yeah, this was a fine match. It was just a
TV match.
TV style match. Nothing really pay-per-view caliber about it. Usos retained, mostly built towards the Rey hot tag. Yeah, that's it really.
It was totally fine stuff. I think we were very distracted by the Mr. Blobby thing because they were in pink and yellow, and I said, it looks like sexy Mr. Blobby.
Yeah.
And that basically then just started us to talk about Mr. Blobby for like pretty much the entirety of the match. It was like, do you remember this thing with Mr. Blobby? Do you know that you used to have 2 theme parks in the UK?
Get up, Mr. Blobby, the Mr. Blobby compilation. I mean, is that our fault or is that the sign of matches not being up to pay-per-view caliber?
Yeah, no one cares about this feud because we've seen the matches and all the various combinations that the match could possibly be.
7 matchups in the last couple of months between these 2 teams.
Yeah. And you wonder why we were distracted by other things, because I've seen it plenty of times.
Then Boogs came out, played Shinsuke out, and Shinsuke did an entrance. And I was like, oh, okay, we're getting an impromptu match.
Weird for a show that's got to finish in 45 minutes.
And there was nothing. They just cut to the video package for Belair Banks that we didn't get.
Do you want to hear my theory on this? Vince thinks that Pat McAfee dancing is hilarious. So he's just like, I want to see Pat dance. Make that man dance for me again. Send out those 2 that make him do the dance. And then Pat does the dance. And Vince's like, such good S. All right, run the video package.
Dance, Pat. Dance for me. Then we got the Becky return, all that stuff. We've covered that quite extensively. And, everyone's like, oh, screw that. You've just buried Bella. You've squashed her for no reason. How could this get any worse? Video package for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
They're going back. They didn't say the word Saudi Arabia in the video
because
package.
they don't do that anymore, do they? They just say,
we're going back.
We're going back.
To the place.
Yeah. That's it, because every time they mentioned Saudi Arabia, they used to get booed, didn't they? So now they just stopped saying that because all the controversy around it, rightly so. So they would just go like, yeah, it's in Riyadh. The beautiful progressive city of Riyadh or whatever it is. And then that was it. And they would never say the word Saudi Arabia. And that clearly appears to still be the case. We're going back to that place. It hits different.
Yeah. It's the font now. I don't even need to hear Saudi Arabia. I see the Saudi font. I'm like, screw this.
Yeah. Lots of apparently they're the finals of the Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring tournaments are going to take place there. There were lots of women in the advert for it. Yeah. So there's something at the very least.
Yeah, there's forefront of change, and we can watch a women's tournament end in t-shirts.
Yeah,
great,
cool.
Damn women with their forms. Their female figures.
Gross.
Even when it's all covered up. Nah.
Disgusting.
Chuck something baggy on that.
I would say drive me somewhere, but I don't even want you to do that either.
No. It's not my fault that I can't control myself around a woman looking like a woman.
It's just not on me. Really, it's your fault.
Forefront of change.
We didn't do a review of the first show, did we? What was the first show? The Greatest Royal Rumble. We didn't do a review of it because we kept saying like, no, it's just an extended. It's like it's a glorified house show. And that was the attitude that we took. And then people were like, I don't know why you didn't review it. Like it was a pretty good show. And so that kind of means it's eligible for WrestleTalk Extra because we didn't do a review of it. And there's part of me that I don't want to rewatch it. But that first one was so propaganda heavy. Do you remember like John Cena won his match with Triple H and then he was like, guys, let me tell you about the hotel I'm staying at.
Yeah.
It's the most amazing. I've been looked after so well.
Yeah.
There was the advert for like, hey, women can drive now. Here's Roderick Strong in the Royal Rumble.
Have you seen these cars driven by chicks in cars?
I never thought I'd see the day. Not in my lifetime.
Olympic wrestlers, Gable and
The other one.
Tamira, they came down to the ring and they just clapped.
Well, they got the rub. They got the rub. They got that
From
the WWE rub.
Right.
Now they feel like real big stars because they got that WWE rub. Oh, really? WWE got that Olympic rub.
I'm sure everybody there recognized them. We recognized them. They had Olympic gold medals. I wasn't confused, but I feel like a ring introduction would have been handy.
Did they not have one?
No.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure it was just like music played, they walk out. Sorry if I'm wrong, and I just didn't care and wasn't watching the intro.
So this was like, I mean, again, weird for a show that was supposed to finish earlier than usual. That was like when things like that and the Nakamura thing, I was like, yeah, this show ain't finishing when Ollie thinks it's going to finish.
Or when Las Vegas
thought it was going to finish. Yeah, it was a thing. I didn't watch the Olympics, so I don't really know who they are. But it's cool. They got to see the thing. I would say that the girl of the two seemed pretty into it. Quite charismatic. She was there clapping along. The lad, that was he Gable?
Gable something. Gable Stevens.
I have never seen a celebrity
Stevenson.
give less of an F about being associated with the WWF.
I strongly disagree. I think she was there as a fan. She was enjoying the experience. Gable's there like, I'm Brock Lesnar. I'm gonna.
Oh my God! You thought
I'm the
tough. I'm the tough.
I'm gonna be a
no,
wrestler.
you reckon?
Oh yeah, he wants to be a wrestler.
Does he really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No.
Or like that's a death. Like that is his most.
In which case, then the first thing I'm doing at NXT is sending him to charisma classes, like because you were not your vibe you were giving off was like, why am I here? When do I get my paycheck now? Like I could see Pritchard waving the check backstage, like in gorilla position, like to get him back to come back.
We got Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal after this. Drew has said forever that they're going to have a really good match. And 3MB fans have said, this is going to be a great match. And maybe they could have had a great match. They weren't given the opportunity. It was a 3-minute squash.
I think what Drew wants is, and what WWE wanted are very different things. Because Drew wanted to have this big match with Jinder, and WWE like, but it's Jinder though, so just go out there and squash him.
Yeah, that's 3 years ago, mate.
Yeah.
So Veer and Shanky weren't at ringside, but they did come out afterwards to help Jinder, and Drew chased them off with a sword.
Yeah, this feud will continue.
After that, though, really good match. Like, considering how crap this build has been and how much I hate all the characters, Almost a Superhero Nikki, Almost a Superhero versus Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's title was really good.
This match ruled.
Yeah.
I was so into this finish. It was really, really good.
And Nikki got offense. This was the best she'd looked since winning the title, really. And yeah, we had because it was me and Adam versus each other. We didn't know. God, I'm sweating. I had Charlotte, he had Nikki. So I was really invested in it. And yeah, Charlotte hit this crazy corkscrew moonsault to the outside, which just went straight into Nikki's head. Reversals, near falls at the end. Charlotte pins Nikki. Sorry, makes Nikki tap. Screw you, baby. Superhero baby face. In the figure 8 to win another women's title.
Yeah. Sure glad they used that Money in the Bank briefcase well this year.
Oh, moment.
Right, well, no, do you know what?
Moments.
I take it back. They got their moment out of it. But do you know, the match was awesome. I really, really enjoyed this match. The three of them worked really, really well together. I mean, Charlotte and Flair, Charlotte and Rhea should work together quite well now. They've had 1,000 matches in the last few months. And they've been doing this triple threat over all the live shows and stuff. And I thought it was great. I thought it was really, really good.
I am so hot, I'm going to put on the air conditioning. You
Go
talk
for
about
it.
Edge and Rollins.
Edge and Rollins also had an absolutely brilliant match. And Edge did his Brood entrance, which is, sort of like comes out through the fire. On TV, this looked so, so cool because they shot it really, really wickedly. And had this amazing, we don't know how this sounds with the aircon. I hope it's not too bad. But yeah, he came out with the Brood entrance. But now I've seen a picture of it live from the crowd. It didn't look quite as cool if you were there live, but on TV it looked amazing. The fire was there when he came out, and you could argue it's like, man, that's just doing nostalgia for the sake of nostalgia. You guys kind of mock on that a lot, which is totally right. But this was done for a reason, because the whole point of this was like Seth has made him go to this dark place that he's not usually going to, and this, that, and the other, which has made him go back to his brood form. So there was a really cool entrance, that transitioned to Metalingus, and then they had this really, really cool match.
Yeah, they sort of busted out loads of little spots. Edge worked over the head a lot at the start, which was good. It really nicely built, and the bit which really made me stand up and take note, really, Seth went for the pedigree, Edge reversed it into a glam slap. You're like, oh, suddenly, those little details and bits in each guy's pasts, or currents, really, add so much more depth to this, the sort of physicality. And then, yeah, just a bunch of really inventive spots. Edge hit a spear through the ropes, Big E style.
Oh, so awesome. Like he did some Foley and like through the flaming tables and that back at WrestleMania. But I thought this match was really, really good. And I thought I think it's the best Edge match since he's been back. Because as much as I've really enjoyed the Roman matches, the triple threat was really good. Yeah. I think I enjoyed this match more. And it's also his first big win.
Yeah,
because he didn't win the Rumble when he came back in 2020. He didn't win. He did win at WrestleMania, didn't he? And then he didn't win the greatest rematch ever, but did win the third one. But it just feels like this year in particular, he won the Rumble, then lost at Mania, lost at Extreme Rules or Money in the Bank, whichever one it was. I think he kind of needed this win, and it was so good. Yeah. And I thought Rollins looked awesome. You said, how does this set up Rollins to be the next contender for Roman Reigns? And they're like, it doesn't matter. Wins and losses don't matter. He can just walk out and just be like, Roman, and then gets his match.
But they're both heels.
Yeah, I don't think that matters either. Davis, there are no heels or baby faces in WWE. That's a very outdated way of looking at professional wrestling.
Yeah, you're right. You've got to have a lot of nuance and psychological tact to do shades of grey with all your characters.
No, it's all about moments. It's not even about...
WWE has that. So Edge won that, made Rollins tap.
Yeah, really in the crossface. And awesome transitions out of the crossface. Yeah, he just so Rollins powers out of the crossface, grabs him by the back of their hair, Edge does, and just starts smashing his face into the mat over and over and over again, multiple times over. Locks the crossface back in, and Seth just slowly taps out. It was really, really cool. Match of the night for me, easily.
Yes, yeah, same here. I think match order would be this one. Then I'd put the women's triple threat. Then I'd put Cena, Reigns, maybe Damien Sheamus.
I'd have got Damien Sheamus, then Cena, Reigns.
Is anyone talking about that?
Someone said it was loud, but it's not noticeable, so it's fine. No one else has mentioned it, so I think we're okay, which is nice. It's nice around my...
Might have this on all the time,
because it does get clammy in here.
This is when live reports started to come out that the Wi-Fi had gone down in the arena.
Yeah. And
it just also happened to be a cashless arena. So no cash payments could be made.
Yeah.
There was no functionality to take it. You couldn't pay by card either. So they just started giving away food.
They were starting to give away, and then when that got out of hand, they shut down all concessions. So there was no concessions. This was what came out from this. The current situation in the Allegiant Stadium: cashless payment system is down. Concessions have stopped. The Wi-Fi is dead. The PA system isn't working properly. There's no pyrotechnics, and the toilets are overflowing. What happened? Was the Wi-Fi that powerful in the Allegiant place that it was just it controls the bogs?
They're not flushing. Then WWE, I think that must have also tampered with the clickers that they used to count people who enter the arena, because 51,230 something was the announced attendance.
Just lastly on that last thing.
45,000.
And what did they say it was?
51,000 something.
Well, you know what? You got to count all the people that are working there as well, all the people watching at home. So all that information about the toilets were overflowing, this, that, and the other, that was shared by Las Vegas locally. So that is someone who is dedicated to Las Vegas and showing information out about local things going on in Las Vegas. SummerSlam was such a big deal to Las Vegas and this person that they used the hashtag WrestleMania.
I just realised it wasn't WrestleMania.
No, it was SummerSlam.
This is when. So one of the other things was the WWE had told the city of Las Vegas that they would be finished by 11 p.m. Eastern. At this point in the show, with 2 matches left, it is 11 p.m. Eastern. Like right now. I'm like, God, I don't know. Okay, we've got Lashley and
Goldberg. Well, that'll only go 2 minutes.
And then we've got Reigns Cena, which will go 55. All right, well, let's, come on then, guys. Miz and Morrison come out to cut a promo about water.
So, do you think that all of this Johnny Drip Drip stuff and the Moist TV was all a setup because they had a sponsorship deal with Pure Water or whatever it is?
I think it came the other way around.
Oh, yeah?
I think, that's how we would do it. We invent a thing, it gets over in this case, and then we're like, you know what? Let's approach some water brands, see if anyone wants to do a bit with us.
And those water brands, what was the water brands?
Pure Life.
Pure Life. I bet you it's made of, it's 98% sugar.
Yeah, high fructose corn water.
And so, do you think the people at Pure Life in the boardroom watched the zombie match at Backlash and were like, I think these kids have got something here. I think these kids... Can you also get me the one who got eaten by the zombie? Can he be involved in this?
Well, why can't... if you're going to do that, have the Miz drown in Pure Life.
Well, no, because he shot... I mean, if anything, when Xavier Woods comes out dressed like a Ghostbuster and starts shooting them with this Pure Life... And Mr. Morrison like, oh no, my suit's a bit wet. Surely they should be like, delicious water. I'll have another. Have you got a bottle? And they'll be like, I have. And they all cheers the bottles.
Reusable.
Go, Pure Life. It's the purest of life.
We didn't get that. They just sold like it was the second coming of the milk/beer float attack.
No, it really wasn't.
It wasn't, though.
No, it wasn't.
And the crowd were dead silent.
Yeah, did not care for this. I felt so, I felt so embarrassed for them.
So up until this point, over the last year plus, we've had roughly three and a bit hour long pay-per-views. And this was this was now at this point the longest pay-per-view.
Wow.
In a year. And there is no reason for any wrestling show, I include you, AEW, to go over 3 hours.
Do you think...
Just book a shorter card.
Do you think because now we've had the zombie match at whatever it was, Backlash, and now we've had this with Pure Life, this is now going to be a recurring theme at WWE pay-per-views. Brand integration. Oh, yeah. That's WWE's new revenue. Yeah. That's a Nick Khan new revenue thing.
Without a doubt. That it's got Nick Khan all over it for me.
Yeah.
It's a brand sponsorship agent style approach to making content.
You're right, yeah.
Which is the content sucks.
Yeah.
And it's all in service of the I'd like to think if you watch the sponsorship things we do, we try and put as much effort into it as possible.
Beer52.com.
Beer52, I'm drinking this beer a lot. But yeah, that was what happened. We've spent way too much time on that piece of crap segment.
The other thing I was going to say is that when I was getting the images for this, there were no decent images of this segment to put into the news because the camera people had to keep getting the Pure Life logo in all the shots. So it's like there's no one's faces in any of the photos.
After that, we got Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. Goldberg, when he came...
Just saying.
When you forget about this.
I did.
So when Goldberg came out, it's got you've got the whole Goldberg text on
on one of the LED
displays.
boards, yeah.
But they also had a video screen in front of that playing clips of Goldberg, which meant the middle of his name was blocked out. So we only got the first 2 and last 2 letters, which spelled Gorg. Meltzer and Alvarez didn't talk about this.
Did they not? That's wild.
They were seeing where this guy's living these days. San Antonio.
Oh,
yeah, so Gorg.
Gorg had a match. Gorg had... this has to be the longest Gorg match since he came back 5 years ago.
7 minutes.
7 minutes, was it really? I actually thought it was longer than that. But yeah, is this the longest Gorg match?
Yeah, and he did a fair bit as well. Not well.
No.
He nearly dropped Bobby on his head a few times. He managed to drop himself on his own head twice. He decided, I'm going to sell the spear like Ricochet would sell a spear.
Oh my god, yeah. I can do one of those flip reversal things, kid. Oh no, I've fallen on my neck again.
So he's kind of doing like I'm getting turned inside out by the spear. I'm effectively going to do a flip bump, a forward flip bump in the air after you tackle me. He landed on his neck every time.
Every time.
But he's got such a strong neck, I imagine like he was okay by it. What seemed to be the issue from the very get-go, from the entrance, he's like holding his leg and limping. Yeah, I don't think he looked good in this match.
No,
and that's like by his standards as well.
And this match had a lame finish, which is that Goldberg's leg hurt, and the referee said, they can't continue. Bearing in mind, this whole feud has been around these two gladiators. These two warriors, the almighty Goldberg, Gorg, they're going to clash. And the match is like, his leg's too hurty.
Gorg v. Bob.
Gorg can't stand anymore. The match is over. And then afterwards, Lashley starts hitting him with a chair. Sunberg gets in, and then Lashley kills Sunberg, which
was good.
I think we're getting a rematch at Saudi Arabia. I think we're going to get
where Goldberg wins.
Surely Gorg has to win now.
Yeah.
Because he's got to get revenge for Sunberg.
You don't put your hands on Sunberg.
Which means then that Gorg wins the title at Saudi Arabia, and then doesn't come back until WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Which is what, like that's 5-6 months without the WWE Championship?
Oh, God.
Does that also mean that the championship isn't going to be... Because Gorg's only got 2 matches left on his contract.
Yeah.
So is that like... Are we going to get one of those... Does that include one of them in Saudi Arabia?
He might come back, next year. It might not be at Saudi Arabia.
Well, that's the thing, is like, because it's 2 matches a year, that's the contract. So if he's got 2 left on his deal, that means those 2 are for next year, which means that the Saudi one has to be an additional, unless, of course, Lashley's holding on the title until WrestleMania, and then Gorg beats him for the title at WrestleMania, and then he drops it to whoever.
This is the angle to set that up. Yeah, maybe.
That's the only other thing I can think of, that it's you just do this again next year. But either way, do you want to know my other conspiracy theory I got on this? Why they did this DQ finish? Goldberg was like, I'm taking 2 pinfall losses in a year. That's going to ruin the mystique of Goldberg.
Not in front of my boy.
Not in front of my kid. My kid thinks I'm Superman. I'm not taking.
He's 15.
I'm not taking 2 pinfall losses. You got to think of another way around it.
Yeah, maybe. That could very well be the case. Gorg is very protective of his character.
He wins all the time.
That angle was good.
Yeah.
I think we were all quite surprised, considering how bad the match was and how awful the finish was. All of us were like, yeah, he kind of got me back in there with that beatdown of Sunberg.
It's the most interesting thing they've done in the feud.
However, it's still not, I've been thinking about it, it's still not good.
No.
Because just the way it was executed, Sunberg sat up like 5-10 seconds after it.
Yeah.
But just stay down, kid. Have Goldberg pass out. That's the easiest way to act.
No, that is Gorg telling you, get up, kid. Don't act like you're too hurt, because they won't believe in you. They won't think you're a superhero.
I don't think it's a tag match, do you?
Gorg and Sunberg versus
Gorg and Sorg.
Gorg and Sorg, the Gorg and Sorg connection, versus Lashley and MVP at Saudi Arabia. No. I would love that. That has got train wreck written all over it.
I would love that too. Come on. Also, one of the reasons the whole leg injury didn't visually work is because MVP went to dink him with the cane. This was the thing that really pushed over the leg injury. Goldberg didn't notice it, or MVP missed. So he sold it 2 seconds after it happened.
Yeah.
Looks so bad.
And for whatever reason, WWE decided to show this in a slow motion replay, which made the delayed reaction feel even more delayed.
Yeah. Anyone who's saying man, Eva Marie's work was terrible in that Alexa Bliss match, Goldberg was right there with her.
Gorg was easily the worst thing on this show. Matt Riddle was right all along.
And the main event was Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Cena has the worst AR entrance. It's a giant hat and a tanuki.
Yeah, so he's got a Mario 3 inspired gear now. CM Punk used to have Mario Brothers 3 inspired gear as well. Very cool for Cena to reference a game that is 35 years old at this point. Actually, might
fellow
be
kids.
Yeah, it really does feel like how do you do, fellow kids? But you know, it's a cool T-shirt design. I like the fact it's got all of his championships on the back and this, that, and the other. But it's this match had one fundamental flaw.
Two fundamental flaws. You do yours, I'll do mine.
Yeah, which is that Cena wasn't taking it seriously. Cena was doing his usual jokey, whoop, I nearly got you. 1, 2, 3. And what was it going to take to get you? And I was like, you're fighting for the title. Take this seriously. Because if you're not taking it seriously, why should I care? And like we were saying this a lot on the stream yesterday. This would be his 17th championship win. Statistically, it would make him, categorically, the greatest wrestler of all time. And he's there going like, well, nearly got a roll-up there. Those roll-ups should be like a desperation thing of like, I have to win. I feel like I'm just echoing what Adam said on the stream last night, but I completely agree with what he had to say.
It is, this should be like, Tanahashi should have wrestled this match.
Oh, Tanahashi was in this match.
Like, this is, at the moment, this is what he does better than anyone in the world.
Absolutely.
That kind of last ditch, I just want one more run with the belt.
Yeah.
But no, we got Cena. And I remembered why I hated Cena in this match.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a good character. What happened in 2015-16 when he started doing the US title gimmick, I was like, I like you as a person now. But I hate the character.
I hate the
jorts. I hate the stupid facial expressions. He's so goofy. He can't sell properly.
His punches are the dirt worst. I actually always forget how bad his punches are.
Yeah.
He looks like he's impersonating Fred Durst doing the Rollins dance. Because it's like all the way back, all the way forward. Like, real people don't punch that way.
I think what really made me notice it, like, snapped me out of that US title bubble or, you know, rose-tinted glasses we've been in. Maybe it's like seeing him against Roman, who has become more serious. And now, like, this Cena character up against Roman, it's like, stop it, grow up.
Yeah, that's a
You're
great...
a 45-year-old man.
This is Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
Shane McMahon, like, you know, who's older than his dad was when his dad was the Mr. McMahon character. And he's still like, yeah, but I'm still the same character I was in 2000. I'm the bratty son. It's like, you're in your 50s.
You can't...
You're a father of 3.
Yeah. You can't do the same character. Unless he's Sting. It's okay, because you wear face paint.
Yeah.
And
he's in AEW.
So my fundamental flaw was, and this is a weird one because I like it.
Yeah, it is.
But Roman Reigns has developed this brilliant style of match where he's very slow and methodical and he gently trash talks the other person. And it was one of the highlights of the cinematic era, the no fans era of WWE. Like, he almost discovered this new form of wrestling and he was the pioneer of it. Does not work in an arena of 45,000 people, and the audience get bored. So now it becomes a thing of, well, who are you playing for? This is like, when Roman was talking to the camera, I was like, this is great. But I could also see people fidgeting in the background.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you need to satisfy both parts of the wrestling psychology here. You need to work the people in the audience as much as the people at home. When you're at this level, there's nothing bigger. You know, you are the top at WWE. You should be able to do both things simultaneously. Because if you're not doing one of them, it does negatively affect the other's enjoyment.
It was, yeah. And the match was long. The match was plodding.
23 minutes.
Was it only 23 minutes? Are you? Oh, man. I would have gone way higher. The other thing with the Roman thing as well is that I really like the Roman trash-talking thing.
I like it too.
And I like the fact that he's now doing it to the audience as well. I've been like, this is your guy? This is the guy that you're cheering for and all this. I like the trash-talking stuff. Part of the problem, I feel, comes with, he just does one clobbering blow to the back, and the other guys be like, oh my God, I'm dead. And then Roman's like, this guy. Because Roman's then got to spend 5 minutes walking around the ring being like, this guy just gave him one clubbing blow to the back. Now he's dead. With my big teeth.
Anyway, this did get really, really good in the last 3 minutes.
because it became a John Cena match.
Yeah, well, they did the whole AJ Styles Cena Rumble 2016.
The big move kick out, yeah.
And it, like, Roman's kickouts in particular, we were all very stunned at how good they are. Like, Roman Reigns is so much better as a wrestler than John Cena. That was one of the things that I got from this match.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Technically.
Oh.
I know that's not a hot take, but I was like, wow.
Do you know what? Someone's just pointed something out in the chat. So I will. True has actually just pointed in the chat. I forgot about this. Do you remember the stipulation of this match?
Yeah, Roman would leave WWE.
That never felt like it played into anything in this match whatsoever.
Classic WWE addition of a layer that's not needed. They overthink things.
Yeah.
Like that's a rubber match. Sorry, not a rubber match. That's for the follow-up. If Cena won, you know, I'll put my career on the line. Terrible. Anyway, loads of kick-outs. The crowd got really into it because now, it became more of a big move match. Kick out. But then Reigns hit the spear to win after Cena was trying to power up. What was happening there?
Well, maybe he was trying to like charge up his heart so that he can get the electricity flowing to do his heart punch. Yeah. Goku!
And then we got the Brock Lesnar thing that we've already talked about. Overall, I gave it a 2 out of 5 show. I stick by that.
I completely agree with you. 2 out of 5 show. Although 44% said it was a 3 out of 5 thumbs in the middle show. 29% agreed with us. 2 out of 5 show. 13% thought it was a 1 out of 5 show. 4% said it was 5 out of 5. 11% said it was a 4 out of 5 show. Heavily weighted to the bottom, but most people, the general consensus is, it was fine. 3 out of 5 thumbs in the middle.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Beer52.com/wrestle. Got to cap off this SummerSlam CM Punk week with a little treat to yourself. £5.95 UK viewers only. That's the cost of postage and packaging to get 10 free craft beers and a little bag of snackies. Also, your Ultrachats. WrestleTalk.com/support. Last call for those. Bo Hill. Considering the fact that Becky probably wasn't capable of wrestling a 10-minute match and Brock looked like he just stepped off his farm, do you think WWE hot-shotted both returns in response to the CM Punk return and then completely won up massively?
I know a lot of people have said, do you think this is a response to CM Punk? I don't think they care. And do you know why? They don't need to care. Because it wasn't like a single person in that crowd was chanting for CM Punk during the night.
Bray Wyatt chants.
But I think that's just becoming a Pavlovian thing for Alexa Bliss match now.
Bray Wyatt's sign was removed.
Was it really?
Yeah. Security were taking them away.
But,
Reportedly.
Yeah, but that's a different thing to like the crowd chanting for CM Punk, which no one did. Like not a single CM Punk chant broke out during that. And there was a Miz Morrison and Xavier Wood. That was a perfect opportunity for a CM Punk chant. They don't care enough. Like WWE, sort of like their audience don't care enough to chant for that.
You know what? This is meant to be a traveling crowd. I thought, not a good, it was a crowd, but it wasn't. I guess you're not getting that international traveling crowd.
Yeah. And we are better than Americans, so maybe.
We sing the songs.
Yeah.
Mark Mayhew. Don't want to rag more on Roman, I respect him a lot, but John Cena's return last month has 4.3 million views. CM Punk's return has 4.2 million in 36 hours. Also, what a terrible pay-per-view last night. But congrats, Luke. Can't believe your child will share the same birthday as Pete. Gorg. You gonna call it Gorg?
Well, I mean, we've already sort of like got a list of names, so maybe I'll just like sneakily add Gorg in.
The Guilty Hat. First, massive congrats to Luke. You'll be an amazing dad.
Thank
a lot
you.
of people are saying that.
Thank you so much. It's very, very kind.
You will be.
Thank you.
Second, Face Brock. Can't wait for Denise's booking to come true and for him to eliminate 70% of the Rumble. And lastly, Charlotte versus Becky at Survivor Series. Super exciting, right?
Oh, God, I hadn't thought about that, but you're absolutely right.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Also, Adam Blompier massively negged on me and Denise for being like, I can't believe you booked him in a Roman Reigns feud. Like, why would you do that? And we were like, because of Paul Heyman. Like, it's right there for the taking.
Yeah.
The second that Paul Heyman started selling Brock Lesnar coming out, Adam was like, that's genius. Screw you, buddy.
Kelly Schaffer. Did you guys see on Twitter that trending in WWE was the word horrible? And right above that was CM Punk continuing to trend because of his return. Yes, did see both of those. Whatever WWE tried to do to respond to Punk did not work. Also, congrats, Luke.
Thank you very, very much. Apparently, according to Meltzer, the number is huge for Rampage.
Huge. Doobs890. Watching SummerSlam, I had a revelation. This is the best WWE can be. The biggest names and oldest stars that are left are all here. They've revealed all their cards, and it feels so joyless. Today, for me, was the day WWE died. Long live AEW. Poor Bianca. Wow.
That's actually, he's not wrong. Like, this is like their best foot forward.
I can't think of a single other person on the bench. Goldberg, Brock, Becky.
There's no other.
No one's out injured.
There's no big names to have their return now.
Taker's retired.
Yep.
Kane. But
maybe.
Yeah. Greener pastures. Chiera Angela Nasty. I like to imagine things went down like this. Vince goes, "Oh no, Punk debuted. Brock, here's $1 billion. Cut the ponytail and get in the ring." And Brock, "Okay, but I take the ponytail. It's a deal breaker." "Oh, God damn it, okay, but go." Thinkaskay. "Hi guys, did not see SummerSlam. Did I miss anything? One more thing, I love the reaction to CM Punk from all you guys. Yes, more iconic than Luke becoming a dad."
Yeah, I don't think we had that poll go up in the end.
Thinkaskay again said the same thing again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Noah Fortner. "I stopped watching WWE regularly at WrestleMania 34. I was so burnt out by them, but I always watch the big pay-per-views because I want to watch alongside your live reactions. Last night was a reminder of why I'm all elite." Luke, I'll let you do this.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, you can sit here.
I'm all elite. Dad. Sorry, I just wanted to see if anyone had any ideas of who the other names could be. Like the other names they can rely on. People saying The Rock.
Oh, but that's... Yeah, well, yes.
The Rock. Bayley.
Big one. Yeah, she's injured. Yeah,
she's injured. And Triple H.
Yeah, all those three.
Yeah.
Shane.
Yeah, Shane's another one you can always bring. Shane's always one you can cart out for another match.
Stephanie.
It's been a while since we've had a Stephanie match.
Andrew the Last Airbender. Ronda.
Oh, Ronda. Yeah, absolutely.
Andrew the Last Airbender. "I love this week. CM Punk returned and made the world cry in happiness. SummerSlam was, in my opinion, really great. We have soon to be the debut of WrestleTalk Owen. It's been a while since I've seen wrestling bring people together, and it's wonderful to see.
It's been a while
since I've been..."
I can feel the heat from those ladders. I love the live version of that with Fred Durst behind him.
Oh, it's on MTV too. Right?
Again. It was only on half an hour ago.
Robert Waters. "Thoughts on Roman's attempt to bury Punk and Moxley in his interview? I thought he looked very uncomfortable saying those things." Yeah, I don't think Roman as a person is that sort of guy.
No, I don't think he believes
That's the
that.
character of Roman.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Roman is doing all of his interviews in character, which is great to see. You'd love to see that.
Do you want me to read out congratulations to you?
Yeah.
It's weird if you were to read out your own congratulations.
I think so, yeah. I thought about that last night when I was doing the Ultrachats. Thank you all for those, by the way.
Luke Owen, this section is called...
D-A-D.
Such a good gimmick. Jonathan Hedman. "Congratulations, Big Papa Owen. That was the best thing on the show last night."
Oh, Big Papa Owen's a fun one as well. I just couldn't keep calling the kid fat.
Fat asses. Zachary Jenkins. "Luke, congratulations on becoming a dad. So happy. And Ollie, I also shed a tear on Friday. I watched Punk's whole rise to the top, and to see him so happy to be back was awesome. Also, as an African American, have to say the hairline is on point. Jam that jam."
Oh, mate. It's a good looking hairline. I think we can categorically say now it was a success.
It's come through, yeah. It's still like, you can still see patches, but it's getting thicker. Yeah, so you got a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Well done, Luke.
Thank you.
But the crying was awesome. Great hair. Nate S. "I was so excited to hear about the announcement of Luke Owens.
Baby!
Congrats. And congrats on being the first one at WrestleTalk to do the sex.
Pretty good.
What is it like?
It's brief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I don't get is, since you're confirmed dad now, why don't you laugh at Ollie's bad jokes or make them yourself?
Well, I can't steal your gimmick, and the gimmick is to no-sell them.
I don't mind if we just all tell it. I like jokes. I just want everyone to tell me jokes all the time. Yeah. And then I want to tell those jokes to other people. I want to be like a super spreader for jokes. Can the Artist. Hey guys, congrats Luke. You are a father.
Thank you.
Glad I was watching along with you guys because I would have turned off after the Becky thing, to be honest. Take care of yourself, lads. Much love from the Bronx, New York. Dad. Gorg. Kit. Really happy for you, Luke. You'll be such a fun dad.
That's very kind of you to say. Thank you all so much.
And ex-Machina. Luke, I acknowledge you in the most sincere, heartfelt format a human is capable of. Simpsons quotes. You're somebody's father? That must be the happiest kid in the world.
Thank you so much.
And finally, 2 more. Nate S, making my pitch for Ollie's punishment video to be WAP, but change it to WAB. For the Gary Busey.
Oh, wet ass Busey. Yes, that's such a good idea.
Is Gary Busey on Cameo?
If Gary Busey is on Cameo.
Or 262. He's even more expensive than Frakes.
But look, he might sing you a song.
What you want me to tell you, and I'll tell you better than you can feel. Bop, bop, bop. There you go. Cameos rush.
Gary
Hey, this
Busey.
is Gary Busey.
I love Gary Busey so
Wet
much.
ass. I'd be like, if I give you 400, will you pour water over yourself?
That's some wet ass Busey.
And finally now, Liam Craig. My girlfriend was laughing at me because I started crying during the Punk return. God, I love wrestling. You, Luke, congratulations on the new baby coming. So happy for you, as she should do. Come on, let's stop showing emotions, guys. It's disgusting. Right, well, that's it for our return. We have been in this office for 7 days. After not doing the office for 1 year and 4 months. We've done it 7 days in a row, and you...
I've stayed here. I missed it so much.
48 hours.
I slept here for 2. And then a shower since Friday. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's been a fun week, hasn't it? It's had its ups and downs. It's had its technical problems. It's had its technical successes. It's had no title changes, but announcements being made. In fact, the challenge was laid down for All Out. You're going to be challenging Chopper for the Jam That Championship because he won Wrestle League. So lots of very exciting things happen, and it's not done yet. Because Chopper and Tempest are going to be doing live reactions to NXT TakeOver 36 tonight and a review of it tomorrow to cap off the streamiest party of the summer, our return to the office week. And on Tuesday, me and Ollie will be back here in this studio reviewing Monday Night Raw. You got any big predictions for this week's episode?
I mean, we've got a lot of new champions, all of them but the main one.
Yeah.
I think we'll get rematches.
My prediction, RKBro open the show for a promo, and AJ and Omos interrupt. And that might set up either a singles match, or they'll do a tag team rematch as the main event for the titles. I think Jinder and Drew. Jinder will beat up Shanky and Veer, or maybe either both of them, or in singles. And I think that Doudrop and Eva Marie will have a tag team match against Alexa Bliss and someone else.
Nikki.
Naomi.
She just lost the belt. She needs to go somewhere else.
Well, Nikki Cross will be after Charlotte to get her belt back, and Rhea Ripley will also be there.
Well, it's weird because usually that would be tonight, but because SummerSlam was weirdly on a Saturday,
We get a whole 24 hours away from it.
please do subscribe to this channel. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed and become a member. That's really appreciated.
Yeah, we've had quite a few Membergs join us today, but they weren't noted, so we couldn't give you your cheap pop, unfortunately.
Is there a way?
I might be able to find it in the back end,
yeah,
actually.
try
Sorry.
that, just so we can give them a little shout out.
So do want to do that. It's in settings, isn't it? Settings. No, it's not in settings.
No, it's in monetization.
Thank you.
Up to the top of the tab.
Memberships. Membergs. So these ones all came in, I think. Yeah, in fact, I've got them right here. So it's just one of them, in fact. I think, was it Greg Golden? Greg Golden. I think you might be our most recent one.
Greg Golden. Great name.
Great name.
Thank you, everybody. Subscribe here to the WrestleTalk Podcast. Pete and Tempest are doing NXT TakeOver tonight. Jam that jam.
Jam that jam, everyone. Take care.